I never thought something as mundane as a calendar could shake my trust in my marriage. But here I am writing this out because my mind can't stop spinning and I need to know if I'm crazy for feeling betrayed. It started with little things. My wife, Lila, has always been a bit private about her body, which I respected. She never liked talking about her cycle in detail, but she used to be open enough for us to plan around it, whether for intimacy, vacations, or even just knowing when to stock up on the right essentials. But for the past year, I noticed something strange. She kept her period dates completely to herself. Number notes on the shared calendar. No heads up when she wasn't feeling well. Nothing. At first, I chalked it up to her wanting privacy. But then the inconsistencies started. She'd suddenly claim she was on her period when we had just been intimate days before. Or she'd refuse to be touched for weeks, saying she wasn't in the mood, and then act perfectly fine the next day. I began feeling excluded. It was like she was hiding something from me. So one night, curiosity got the better of me. While she was asleep, I looked at her phone, where I knew she tracked her cycle on a health app. And that's when my stomach dropped. The dates she had logged didn't match what she had been telling me. She had marked periods weeks earlier or later than what she claimed. And worse, some months, there were long gaps where no period was logged at all. My mind immediately went to the darkest place. Was she lying to me? Was she hiding intimacy with someone else? I confronted her gently the next morning, trying not to sound accusatory. Hey, I noticed your app has different dates than what you've been telling me. Why not just be upfront with me? Her face paled, then hardened. Why are you looking at my private apps? That's invasive, she snapped. I admitted I shouldn't have snooped, but I told her that her secrecy felt like a betrayal. I wasn't upset about the periods themselves, I was upset about the lies. She insisted I was overreacting, that she just didn't feel comfortable sharing every detail anymore. But to me, it wasn't every detail, it was something we had always shared openly. And the fact that she actively misled me about it made me feel like she was covering something up. The tension escalated when I asked point blank if she was hiding an affair. She burst into tears, saying she couldn't believe it, accused her of cheating just because of a period app. But in my head, the secrecy, the lies, the evasiveness, they all pointed to betrayal of some kind, even if it wasn't physical. Now, I don't know where the line is. Am I the asshole for being upset over this? Is it controlling to expect my spouse to share something like that with me? Or is she the one betraying our trust by lying about it over and over again? Because deep down, it doesn't feel like just periods. It feels like a wall has gone up between us, and behind that wall, I can't tell if she's hiding discomfort, resentment, or something far worse. For days after the fight, the atmosphere in our house was unbearable. Lila moved around like a ghost, barely speaking to me except for the necessities. Every time I tried to reopen the conversation, she either brushed me off with a cold drop it or snapped that I was paranoid. But my mind wouldn't let it go. The secrecy around her period dates wasn't just about her body anymore, it symbolized something deeper. For years, our relationship had been built on transparency. We shared bank accounts, passwords, even each other's bad days. Why, suddenly, was something so basic now shrouded in secrecy? The more she refused to explain, the more suspicious I became. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone lit up on the nightstand. I don't usually snoop, but my gut told me something was wrong. The notification wasn't from her health app this time, it was from a chat application I didn't recognize. A username I'd never seen before popped up with a message. "I'll see you after work. Don't worry, you won't know." I froze. The room spun. My worst fears clawed their way to the surface. When she came out, I asked directly who the message was from. She didn't flinch. She just grabbed her phone, read it, and coolly replied, "It's just a co-worker. He's giving me a ride." But something about her tone to calm, to rehearsed. My gut screamed she was lying. That night, I couldn't sleep. I replay the inconsistencies in my head, the hidden period dates, the sudden mood swings, the unexplained absences. My mind pieced together a picture I didn't want to see. So, the next day, I made a decision I never thought I would. I followed her after work. She didn't notice me trailing her from a distance as she got into a car not with the co-worker she had mentioned, but with a man I had never seen before. They drove to a small cafe on the edge of town, not far but secluded enough to avoid being spotted. I parked a block away and watched as they sat close together, her laughter light and effortless in a way I hadn't seen from her in months. When he reached across the table and brushed a strand of her hair behind her ear, my chest caved in. It wasn't just a co-worker. It was something intimate. For the next week, I kept the evidence to myself. I watched as she continued the charade lying about her period, about late hours at work, about why she was too tired for intimacy. I kept notes, photos, times. Each day, the truth became clearer. The secrecy around her menstruation wasn't random. She was hiding her cycle because it exposed the reality of her infidelity. Finally, I confronted her again. This time, I didn't ask gently. I laid everything out, the inconsistent app logs, the texts, the CAF meetings. Her face drained of color. Then, instead of denying it, she exploded. "You spied on me. You had no right." But her outrage only confirmed what I already knew. When she realized the fight was useless, she broke down and confessed. Yes, she had been seeing someone else. Yes, she had hidden her period dates to cover her tracks, to make excuses for avoiding me while keeping her double life intact. She admitted that she used those excuses not in the mood, still on my cycle as shields to avoid questions about why she wasn't sleeping with me. The betrayal cut deeper than I thought possible. It wasn't just about sex or even about another man. It was about the layers of deception, the lies upon lies that unraveled the trust we had built over years. In the aftermath, I felt hollow. Friends told me I wasn't crazy for feeling upset in the beginning, that my instincts had been right all along. But that didn't make the betrayal sting any less. The irony is almost poetic. I started out questioning if I was the asshole for being upset about something as small as her hiding her period dates. But it turned out that those small lies were the cracks in the dam, warning signs of a much larger betrayal. Now, I'm left asking myself, how much of our marriage was real and how much was just a performance she played until the lies became too heavy to carry? The night she confessed was not the closure I thought it would be. If anything, it was only the beginning of another nightmare. After admitting to the affair, she tried to spin the story in ways that left me reeling. "Yes, I cheated," she said, tears streaking her face, "but only because you were suffocating me. Always wanting to know my schedule, always expecting intimacy on your terms. I needed space, and he gave it to me." Her words were like knives. She twisted the blame, making me out to be the reason she strayed. The fact that she used my hurt, my initial discomfort over her secrecy as ammunition against me made my stomach churn. I wanted to scream. I wanted to remind her that I only started asking questions when the lies became too obvious to ignore. But instead, I sat there numb, realizing that she wasn't sorry for betraying me. She was sorry for being caught. In the days that followed, things escalated. She began portraying herself as the victim to mutual friends and even some family. "He invaded my privacy," she said. "He doesn't respect boundaries. He even followed me one night." What she didn't mention, of course, was that the privacy I supposedly violated was her cover for months of deception. Some people bought her story. I noticed the shift in tone when certain friends texted me, their words clipped, suspicious, as if they weren't sure whose side to take. Others avoided me entirely, likely believing I had crossed a line. The betrayal now extended beyond just my marriage. It was infecting my social circle, my support system. She wasn't just hiding her period dates anymore, she was rewriting the narrative of our marriage. One evening, I received a message from an unknown number. It was the man she had been seeing. His text was short, smug, and gutting. "You should have treated her better. She deserves happiness." I sat staring at it for minutes, my hands shaking. Not only had she betrayed me, but now her affair partner felt entitled to justify it, as if my pain was irrelevant compared to their happiness. That's when I realized the depth of it all. This wasn't a momentary lapse of judgment. It was a full-scale betrayal, wrapped in lies, manipulation, and gaslighting. The breaking point came 2 weeks later. I walked into the kitchen to find her on the phone with her mother, crying, saying, "He's controlling me, Mom. He wants to track everything I do, even my period. I don't feel safe." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Not only was she lying to me, but now she was painting me as some sort of monster to her family. My ears rang, my chest tightened, and for a moment I wondered if this was how it all ended, with me cast as the villain in a story I never asked to be part of. When she hung up, I confronted her. "You're rewriting our life to make me the bad guy," I said, my voice shaking. She looked at me with cold detachment. "I already told you, I don't owe you every part of me. If you feel betrayed, maybe that's your problem." That was it. The wall I had been holding up finally collapsed. I moved into the guest room that night. A week later, I packed a bag and left the house entirely. She didn't fight it. She didn't beg me to stay. It was as if she had been waiting for me to leave so she could fully step into her new life without guilt. Now, weeks later, I still can't stop thinking about how something as small as hiding period dates snowballed into the destruction of our marriage. It wasn't about the dates themselves, it was about the dishonesty, the secrecy, and the way she weaponized those lies to cover deeper betrayals. People still ask me if I regret snooping, if I regret confronting her. The truth? No. Because if I hadn't, I might still be living in ignorance, believing half-truths while she slipped further away. It's strange, isn't it? That betrayal often doesn't announce itself in grand, dramatic ways. Sometimes it starts with something as ordinary as a calendar. And sometimes that calendar hides the end of everything you thought was real.